YouTube, man, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Mose Knows. I'm your host, Mose. I'm sick, man. I'm sick. I'm sick of how my Niners lost. I'm sick that we just lost 2 straight games and fell to 2-2. And if you can tell by my voice, I'm physically sick. So all in all, it was an up and down weekend. I won both of my fantasy games, so I guess that's some type of consolation prize. But what's going on with y'all, man? Welcome to week 4 recap, also known as what we learned. We'll go through these matchups in week 4, figure out what we learned. Did we learn anything new? Did we not learn anything new? Is it status quo as usual? I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as I can. I got a little bit of downtime right now. I wanted to wait until I got home to do this, but I figured by the time I get home, man, I'm gonna be worn out, and I just want to rest tonight, really. So I'm gonna try to get through this now as quickly as I can. Appreciate everybody for clicking on that link and tuning in with me and bearing with me through this sickness I got. I'm not in my normal studio. I don't have the background. I don't got the camera set up. I don't got the microphone, but we'll get through it. We'll start with the quick hitters. Start with Thursday night matchup, man. What a great start to the week. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the Thursday night matchups this year have been some pretty solid matchups. They've been pretty good as like the starting game of that week's action. I hope that continues, man. Having football on Thursday nights is always good for us football fans who just want to watch football all the time. So for these to be some really, really good matchups, I'm excited about that. And I hope that continues throughout the season. A great start by Trevor Lawrence. Had his team up 14-0 at halftime, but I think in this game, we learned that Joe Burrow is resilient. 25 of 32 for 348 yards and 2 touchdowns. 24 points in the second half after being shut out in the first half, willing this team to a victory. He had that bravado, he had that swagger, that he was going to get it done. And sure enough, he got it done. I tried to tell y'all about this Bengals team. Now listen, it's early, and I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs or they're going to contend in the AFC North, but they 3-1 right now. They looking pretty solid. I like what that offense got going on. Moving to Sunday's matchup, we got the Washington football team at the Atlanta Falcons. Washington with a W 34-30. Washington was trying to mess my picks up this week, but they got it done. It wasn't pretty. Atlanta fought. They tried to protect their home turf, but Washington made enough plays at the end. A big play from Taylor Heinicke to J.D. McKissick to get that go-ahead touchdown. Take the lead. Terry McLaurin was baller, 6 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, Washington tried it, but they were able to get the W, and they sit at 2-2. Nothing much to say about this Bills-Texans game. Texans weren't able to do anything. Josh Allen didn't look as good as he looked in week 3, but he was efficient enough. 20 of 29 for 248, 2 touchdowns against this Texans defense that is struggling. This is who we thought the Texans would be. A few games early in the season, they fought hard. They were able to get one W on the board, but against the good teams in the league, this is what we thought the Texans would be. So not much that we learned there. Buffalo looks like they're in a groove right now. Listen, man, the Detroit Lions, man, they messed up my pick this week. I definitely, was calm for them. I figured they played such a solid game against the Baltimore Ravens. Many could consider that a trap game, but they played such a good game. They scratch and claw, but it seems that the Bears were a little bit too much. One thing that I've noticed from all the Detroit Lions games, and even this game, they start slow. And I think that's attributed to the quarterback. Jared Goff starts slow. If you look at his numbers, 24 of 38 for 299 and 2 touchdowns, you would think he had a pretty solid game. but a majority of that and those 2 touchdowns came in the second half. They hardly moved the ball, put up any points in the first half. And then if you take the second half, that's where the yards and the points came from. So I think this Lions team needs to start a little bit faster. Jared Goff needs to start faster, get some points on the board early to build some confidence for that defense. But yeah, man, that messed my picks up this week. Another team that messed my picks up this week, man, Miami Dolphins. Like, what's going on with Miami? I expected Miami to do well. I expected them to continue to build off of the success that they had last year. Now, this could just be a slow start, and they may turn it around. But I expected them to play much, much better against the Indianapolis Colts defense with the showing that they put up against the Raiders. But that's why you play the games, man. Any given week, any team can show up, can play better than expected, worse than expected. And this is just one of those games for Miami at home where they just didn't come out with enough juice. And Carson Wentz and the Colts were able to take advantage of that. Browns versus Vikings. This was a good game. The Vikings got out in front early, a 7-0 with a touchdown from Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson. But after that, this Browns defense buckled down, didn't allow any points for the rest of the game. From the second quarter on, they scored 14 unanswered points. So this is the Browns team that we thought they would be. It's good to see them in sort of a defensive battle. I think the Vikings defense did some things to kind of slow them down and not allow them to get those running backs off the ground and to really, really affect the game. Although Nick Chubb had 21 carries for 100 yards, the running backs were mostly contained. Baker Mayfield was mostly contained. So it was good to see them in a defensive battle. They were able to buckle down, shut the Vikings out for the rest of the game on the road, and come out with a W. Chiefs versus Eagles. Thank you to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs for mollywopping the Eagles. Now, you didn't mollywop them as good as you're supposed to because you let the Eagles put up 30 points on you. And I think that has been one of the Chiefs' biggest problems is the defense. They added some linebackers this offseason. They added some guys to the defensive line. But for some reason, that defense isn't top tier. Now, when you have Patrick Mahomes and you put up 42 points, do you have to be top tier? Absolutely not. But it would behoove you to play a little bit better and not give up 30 points, especially to a struggling Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts was able to throw for 387 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns. Granted, he's trying to keep up with this high-powered Kansas City Chiefs offense, but I think the Chiefs defense is really hurting right now. And against better teams, you see that's why they have the record of 2-2. Seattle Seahawks, but San Francisco 49ers. I mean, I told you I'm sick. I'm sick about this game. Just because the biggest gripe that I had with my 49ers from the Eagles game in week 2 and the Packers game in week 3 is that we didn't start fast. In this game, we started fast. Jimmy on his first drive was 6-6 and led a touchdown. Our defense had like 5 straight 3-and-outs. And 25 minutes into the first half, the Seattle Seahawks had negative 12 offensive yards. This was a game where we should have been up 21, 24, 28-0 or 28-7 by halftime. This game should have been out of reach early. Our offense had so many chances to move the ball based on the way that our defense was playing. But if you don't put up points and you'll continue to allow Russell Wilson to possess the ball without you putting much pressure on him, they went into halftime tied 7-7. Now, we had some special teams miscues. Some other things that didn't go our way. But you got to be able to put points on the board against Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. So it's really a problem that we weren't able to do that. And that's why we lost this game. Jimmy Garoppolo went out in the second half with an injury. Trey Lance came in and played well. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm of the mindset where Trey needs to play and he needs to learn on the job and not on the sideline. Other 49er fans are of the mindset that Jimmy gives us the best chance to win. I mean, everybody has their opinions, and everyone feels strongly about how the way they feel. I just want to win football games. I want my team to win football games and have a chance at the tournament at the end of the season. So I want it to be Trey as of right now, just because of the inefficiencies and the struggles of Jimmy Garoppolo. But if Kyle feels that Jimmy is the guy moving forward, then that's what we'll roll with. I was drinking the Kool-Aid on the Denver Broncos. They let me down this week too. I thought at home they will put out a better showing. Granted, Teddy Bridgewater did get injured, but we all know that the Ravens are a really, really good team. They were able to go into Mile High and get a W. Marquise Brown, he got back on track after some uncharacteristic drops in that Detroit game. 4 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Ravens are rolling right now. Green Bay Packers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, 27-17 in favor of the Pack. Ben Roethlisberger, tried, his darndest to will his team to a victory, but this Packers team was just too much. Aaron Rodgers was efficient. The running game was efficient. So we knew that the Packers are going to take that one easily. And last in the quick hitters, the Chargers, man, what more can I say about Justin Herbert? He came out absolutely on fire, had his team up 21-0 at halftime, something the 49ers should have been doing. The Raiders, they are a good team this season. They have proven that they fought back with a valiant effort in the third quarter to put 14 unanswered points on the board and get this game to a 21-14 lead. But then the Chargers drive down again and get another touchdown. They walk away with a 14-point victory on that Monday night game. So that's going to wrap it up for the quick hitters. Let's move into the top 5 for this week. Starting with the Panthers versus the Cowboys. I thought this was a great game. Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, both of those guys came out to play. This was a 14-13 game at halftime. And then the Cowboys came out at halftime, making all the necessary adjustments, put up 20 unanswered points on the board. Defense playing solid. Trayvon Diggs, man. Let's give him his flowers while he can smell them. This guy is playing absolutely amazing football. League leader in interceptions right now. And one of the main reasons why this Dallas Cowboys defense looks so good, and they're sitting at 3-1. Ezekiel Elliott, what a game from him. He looked like the bell cow #1 running back that we expect him to be. 20 carries, 143 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Awesome game from him. Dak was able to spread the ball to his receivers. This is a great performance. I take nothing away from the Carolina Panthers. They fought hard in this game. Obviously, if you want to, stand out and set yourself apart as a top contender in this league, you want to get wins like these against top-tier opponents. But they're sitting at 3-1. I believe they are atop their division. I think they might be tied with Tampa right now, so they're 3-1. But this Carolina Panthers team is going to be all right. I think they need to clean some stuff up on the offensive side. They did allow 5 sacks this game. This Dallas defense was humming. So I think they need to clean some stuff up there. And shout out to Sam Darnold. Right now, excuse me, that's my therapy. Right now, Sam Darnold is the league's leading rusher when it comes to touchdowns. And this is across quarterbacks and running backs. Sam Darnold leads the league in rushing touchdowns. Can you believe that? Now, that would have been a hot take. If somebody at the beginning of the season said a quarter of the way through after 4 weeks, Sam Darnold will be the league's leading touchdown rusher, that would be a super hot take. Nobody would have ever believed that, but it is true. It has happened that way. So shout out to Sam Darnold doing everything that he can with his arm and with his legs to get victories for this Carolina Panthers team. Next in the top 5, Giants versus Saints. And why are the Giants versus Saints in the top 5? Man, listen. The Giants messed up my picks this week. And this is what I mentioned about the New Orleans Saints. Like, one week they're good, next week they're bad. Next week they're good, next week they're bad. Like, they are so up and down and so inconsistent. And I'm starting to wonder if for my picks during the week, if I should just go whatever opposite I did last week. So the Saints won week 1, they lost week 2, they won week 3, they lost week 4. So week 5, are they going to win? Week 6, are they going to lose? Like, are we just going to go back and forth with wins and losses with this New Orleans Saints team? So up and down. From a completion percentage standpoint, Jameis Winston had a decent game, 17 to 23, 226 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions this game. But it just wasn't enough. I mean, offensively, Alvin Kamara, 26 yards, 26 carries, 120 yards. Taysom Hill, 6 carries, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. They were able to move the ball, but early they weren't able to sustain drives. And defensively, they could not stop this Giant offense. Daniel Jones, 28 of 40 for 402 yards. The Saints defense allowed Daniel Jones to put up 402 yards. If you ask Giants fans, there's no way Daniel Jones is throwing for 400 yards. But he did this game, and he was able to lead them to enough drives in the fourth quarter to tie the game up, force overtime. They won the toss in overtime, and he drove the team down the field for a game-winning touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. I mean, if anything is encouraging from that is this team is going to fight. I like this Giants team on paper. I think they have the necessary pieces. Maybe coaching is what's hindering this team. Maybe the decision-making. Or the lack of adjustment being made on the offensive defensive side of the ball is hindering this team. But on paper, I really like this Giants team. If they can find a way to be a little bit more consistent and get some things rolling, I think we can see some good things. They're in a division right now where, yes, Dallas is at the top, but this division is always tough playing amongst each other, and you always know that you're going to be in the fight within that NFC East division. So come on, Giants team. Let's be consistent. Let's put some things together. Listen, both New York teams was like, man, forget your picks, Mose. We don't care nothing about your picks. And both New York teams had to get dubs in overtime. I don't find that coincidental. So I'm sure a lot of people picked against the Jets and the Giants this week, and New York hurt us all. It was like, you know what? Forget y'all. We're going to mess y'all picks up. Shout out to Zach Wilson, finally being able to get off the slide and get a W. He threw another interception. He's leading the league in picks, but he was 21 of 34, 297, 2 touchdowns, and he made the big throws when necessary. He had a big scramble to the sideline, throw down the field, actually directed the wide receiver. He was like, go. Corey Davis turned it up. Zach Wilson on a dime down the field, hit Corey Davis for that deep touchdown. He was poised. He only got sacked one time. He made the necessary reads and the necessary plays to get this team on the board with 24 points in regulation, and then to be able to drive down the field and put the team in position for a game-winning field goal. Definitely got to show much kudos and respect to Zach Wilson. I think what I learned from him is, one, he is a baller. We knew that, but he's able to battle through adversity because he could have folded this game based on the way his season has gone so far. He could have folded, but he laced them up, and he went out there to fight all 60 minutes and more in this game and was able to get it done. I'm concerned about this Tennessee Titans team. I can understand why the Saints are wishy-washy. I can understand why the Saints are inconsistent and so up and down. I don't understand why this Titans team is so inconsistent and up and down. Tannehill 30 of 49 for 298 and a touchdown. He was sacked 7 times. So shout out to Robert Saleh and the defense that he's installing over there in New York. I wish he was still in San Francisco. We got a few sacks on Russell Wilson, but we could have used 7 sacks on Russell on Sunday. But 7 sacks against this Tennessee Titans team. Derrick Henry did Derrick Henry like things. 33 carries, 157 yards, and 1 touchdown. I don't understand the inconsistency with this Tennessee Titans team. I thought this was one of the teams that would be a juggernaut in the AFC, similar to the Buffalo Bills, similar to Kansas City Chiefs, similar to the Chargers, the Ravens. I thought this was one of the top teams that there would be a battle every single week, but it just doesn't seem like they've hit their stride yet. There hasn't been much turnover as far as the personnel on the field. I know there were some changes with the defensive staff, I believe, or the offensive staff, offensive coordinator, something like that. Maybe that has something to do with what's going on here. But the inconsistency from this Titans team is really troublesome early on. But again, it's still early. Let's see if they're able to turn it around in the next quarter of the NFL season. My fourth in my top 5, Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. And man, Arizona Cardinals, they stepped up. They got off the bus. They knew what was at stake, and they came to play. They put up 37 points and held Matthew Stafford and his high-powered Rams offense to only 20 points. 13 first half points, only 7 second half points, none in the third quarter. This Arizona Cardinals team is balling out. Kyler Murray didn't have one of those crazy statistical games, but he was so efficient. 24-32 for 268, 2 touchdowns. Quarterback rating of 80.4. Passer rating of 120.3. Chase Edmonds, 12 carries, 120 yards. That's an average of 10 yards a carry. Are you kidding me? 10 yards a carry. Defense is balling out. Byron Murphy Jr., like, what's going on with this kid? Where did he come from? I know where he came from. I'm just saying, like, he's stepping up and coming into his own this year. Shout out to those number 7s. Trayvon Diggs, Byron Murphy. The number 7 is balling this year on the defensive side of the ball. So this is the team that we got to see next. You know, we got the Arizona Cardinals next week in week 5 by 49ers. And listen, I don't know. With the beating that they just put on the Rams, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I don't know. It might be a little touch and go. But, I mean, this Cardinals team is proving that they for real. I would want to see if they can sustain this for the long term. I believe they kind of started hot like this last year. I don't think it was to the tune of 4-0, but they started hot, they started fast, and then they kind of tapered off as the season went on. So I want to see if they can be able to keep this up. But I got my eyes open for this Arizona Cardinals team now. We all know the Rams are a solid team. Yes, they lost to the Cardinals, who are a divisional opponent, but that does not diminish who they are as a team. We know that. They got a solid win over Tampa Bay and Tom Brady last week, so we know they're more than capable of scoring and stopping teams from scoring. So this is just a division matchup where their division rival got the best of them in this game. So that's how it is from week to week. You know, it's what you put on the field, and who comes to play, who has the best game plan, and who makes the best adjustments. So the edge goes to the Cardinals in that matchup. Finally, in my top 5 for this week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New England Patriots. There was a big to-do about this game, the whole commercials with the Adele, "Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you lied to me." Like, I can't sing as well as I normally do because I'm congested. I'm trying to hurry up and do this video because I think me doing all this talking is messing me up. But this game lived up to the billing. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots came out with a game plan to slow down this Buccaneers team, and it worked. They held Tom to only 269 yards in the air, no touchdowns, and sacked him one time. Whereas Mac Jones, Josh McDaniels put a game plan together for him where he was 31 of 40 for 275 and 2 touchdowns. This was a back and forth battle between the old guard and the new guard. Mac Jones held his own in a toe-to-toe matchup with Tom Brady. We knew of his resilience. We know that he's a solid quarterback. You can't play under Nick Saban in Alabama if you're not a solid quarterback, if you don't have it all together mentally from a football IQ standpoint. So he proved that in this game, drove him down to get the go-ahead field goal at the end of the game to be up 17-16. But then Tom, as Tom often does, drove the Bucs right back down to get another field goal to go up to 19-17. And listen, Mac Jones came right back and drove his team down and got them in position for a game-winning 55-yard field goal. Unfortunately, the kicker wasn't able to make it. If he was, we're talking about Mac Jones actually winning this duel between the great Patriot Tom Brady. This was all around a great game. It lived up to its billing. We learned that Tom is as resilient as he's ever been. We learned that Mac Jones also shows that same resilience, which is why Bill Belichick and the Patriots decided to draft him. They feel like he can come in, do everything that's needed. It might not look spectacular. It may not look like a Zach Wilson. It may not look like a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields, but he does exactly what they need him to do to be successful and win games. So I'm excited to continue to see his maturation process and what he's able to do in the future for this New England Patriots team. Listen, man, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I apologize that I wasn't the same jovial Mose that you guys know. I apologize if I sound all nasally or whatnot. Didn't want to give you guys a video like this, but I got to be consistent with the content. I wanted to give you guys something. So please forgive me. Hopefully next week we don't sound like this. Hopefully next week we're back in the normal studio with all the high quality, high tech stuff that we put together for you guys, for this channel, to give you great content. If you like this video at all, as hard as it might be, if you like this video at all, please hit a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It would help me feel much, much better in this sickness that I'm trying to get through. Thankfully, it's not COVID. Thankfully, it is not COVID. It's just a common cold that I got to get through. But if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. You know you guys can get in touch with me on all my social media accounts. I'll drop that link in the description below. Comment on this video. Let me know what you saw during week 4, what you're excited about, what kind of pissed you off, what is something that you didn't like. And let's talk about, you can drop in what you're looking for as we head in to week 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you. Since you came, since you stopped by, just take a few seconds to do a couple things for me. Hit that subscribe button, and after you do that, hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time new content drops right here at Mose Knows. Love and appreciate y'all. I'm gonna finish my therapy and get better, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Y'all be easy.